Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good to see you guys jumping on. Good morning. Hope you are well. It is rainy here. I don't know what it's like where you are, but I hope you are doing well. I hope you are getting through your week. Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, Jesus. Instagram, my phone has already showed me that my battery is low. Hopefully it doesn't die when we're talking. We'll see. Good to see all of you guys jumping on. Good morning, Teresa, Monica, Lisa. Good to have you guys all across the board. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So YouTube is the last one that kick in. So we're waiting for them. But I hope that all of you guys are doing good. Hey, Jasmine. Hey, Joanne. Good. Opportunity to see you guys. So today I'm actually doing like a mini webinar for you. This is something that I used to teach. Had a whole Facebook group on it, on how to create income from your passion. So this is like a treat. It's not just like a treat, a preach. Hey, Favor. It is, I'm giving you guys some real content here. So I'll be sharing with that. I'm just waiting for a couple people to jump on. As we're doing that, I'll probably mention this at the end as well. Those of you guys who are already subscribed to our mailing list, you should have gotten a little Christmas gift this morning in your email from Ask Dr. Faith. And it is an ebook that our team compiled in the last 2 weeks on the 25 ways to break poverty off of your life. We officially put that in an ebook. I had taught part 1 and part 2 of 10 of the 25. And we decided to put it in an ebook for you. If you're not on my mailing list, we're going to give you an opportunity to be able to get that ebook in a minute. We'll be sharing a link. The link is actually in the descriptions. I haven't put it on my Instagram yet, but it's in the description of this video. So it could be up there or down there, depending on where you're watching it. Periscope, you would need to get the link. So we have put all of those nuggets, all of those tools in a free Merry Christmas, Happy Christmas, as we say in England, right? Ebook for you on 25 ways to break poverty, to step into the realm of wealth. So that was our free gift it's free for everybody, but we got it to our mailing list first. For those that have been rolling with us for a while, we put those in a nice formatted book for you. So anyway, we'll talk about that a little bit more at the end when others have joined us. I am going to go straight into the content. People can watch the replay. It stays up on YouTube, on all my Facebook later on. So good. Lots of you guys got your book already. You downloaded it. Excellent. What was the other thing I was going to say? Periscope. As of March, there is no longer going to be Periscope. So if you follow me only on Periscope, I would encourage you to start following me on Facebook or on Instagram. They're doing away with Periscope March 2021. And so just giving you guys a heads up when it comes to March. If I'm not on Periscope, you better get on Facebook, follow me, YouTube, right? We have lots of subscribers on YouTube. You can catch us on YouTube as well. So just my Periscope users, I wanted you guys to know that. Diana, let's see, is it, Dinio, you got it. Oh, you need the book. Okay, yeah, we'll give you guys the link to be able to download the book. I'll put it in my bio on Instagram. We'll be sharing with you. My team is blasting that out because we know that it's going to be a tool that helps revolutionize your life. A lot of people had great feedback on those 25 things. So we put it in a beautiful downloaded ebook for you guys. So all right, let's do this. So like I said, this is going to be more webinar style, but we've been talking about breaking poverty. We've been talking about building wealth. That is something that I'm really passionate about, that I'm probably not going to back off of in a long time. And so I really believe that we have everything that we need in us, right? To be able to get what we need or to be able to do what the Lord has called us to do. And a former friend and coach at that in that season of my life gave me this great illustration that I have used over and over. And she said, you know, when she was giving the story, and I've used this when I was talking to you guys a couple of times about the woman with oil in her house and how she was literally about to die because she didn't know how to take that oil and put it in containers, the widow, right? And so what I have seen is that there's a lot of people that have oil, right, that they don't know how to put it in a container, and therefore they're struggling in certain areas of their life, or they may not be struggling, but they could actually be excelling or living abundantly, and they've not been able to push through to get to that point because they do not know how to access that oil. So when we, you know, I kind of have this thing about passion. You probably have heard me speak sometimes like, I don't need you to just follow your passion. I also need you to discern the season that you're in, what you need, and sometimes you got to do what you need to do before you can do what you want. However, sometimes there are people that are extremely passionate, and not only are they passionate, but they're actually gifted or they are good at what they do. There is a demand from other people concerning what they're passionate about. And it is just a matter of taking that passion and putting it into a vessel or in a container where there can be an exchange. So when value is present, right? Value should not just be given away. There has to be an exchange for that value. So if you knit, if you draw, if you're creative, if you are a consultant, if you're a teacher who taught for 30 years, but now you're retired, but you can make lesson plans really quickly, you need to figure out, how do I put that in a container so that someone can exchange value for this, right? And it can be a blessing for them, but it can also help me live my life. So let's start with this whole concept of passion, right? So passion is not just what you like to do. When it comes to business, passion has to be what you're good at. So there's a lot of things that we may be passionate about, but we may not be necessarily good at enough for somebody to want to exchange value for it. And so when you're thinking about your passion, and I'm going to give you guys a couple of things. Let me see if I can share my screen here, because I told you guys that this is going to be a little bit like a live, okay? Like a webinar that I would do. So this is actually a course that I used to do called Passion to Income. If you're Instagram, you're not going to be able to see the screen, but if those that are watching everywhere else, you should be able to see my screen in a second. Let me put it up. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. There we go. All right, come on, let's share it. Oh no. Oh, okay. I got to keep going because I wasn't planning on sharing my screen, and now it's saying that it can't because of capacity, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, maybe one day I'll send it to y'all. So what we have to do is we have to identify passion. And these are the 5 questions that I share with you guys. I've shared with them with you guys multiple times. We have a free ebook, not a free ebook, a $2 ebook on this. But the first thing you want to figure out is what makes me feel alive, right? I literally have people say, I don't know what makes me feel alive. But the reason you need to figure out what makes you feel alive is that you will not quit when you're doing what makes you feel alive. So when you have found an area where when you do this, it lights you up, whether it's working with children, whether it's taking pictures, whether it's design, whether it's consulting, whether it's being in a lab, developing different, chemicals. I know a young lady, she's a chemist, but she loves natural hair. So she has an amazing YouTube following because she uses her understanding of chemistry to help, grow hair and all of that. But when you're doing this, it makes you feel alive. I'll give an example. I was extremely tired yesterday, and we had a party for our mentees in our DTA mentorship group and in our Dreamers and Seers mentorship group. And, I got on there and I started talking to them, and we started having fun, giving away prizes, all of that. And at the end, my husband's like, look, you were made for this. Like, there's nothing else I can say except when you get in front of the camera, when you get in front of people, when you start talking to people, you just feel alive, right? All the weariness had gone out the window. So if your job is killing you, it might not mean that you're necessarily in the wrong job, right? It could be other circumstances, or you could be in a place that you were never made for. right? So there are things that make you feel alive, and you want to start thinking about that, right? Then the next thing is you want to think about what breaks your heart. What breaks your heart? When I look at the news, when I hear about this kind of thing, this just breaks my heart. It just rocks me to the core. This keeps me up at night. Remember, we're talking about passion here, because passion is not just what you like. You can have things that you like, but it's not necessarily going to make you money. We need to go from having passion and turning it into income, right? So what breaks your heart? The next thing is, if money or education or fear, right? If you had no limitations, what would you be doing? What if you had no limitations? What would you be doing with your life? And I want you guys to write these down, right? Because this speaks to the heart of God for your life. We only dream based off of our expertise, off of our experience, off of our understanding. But God doesn't have any of those limitations. So when he begins to dream for your life, his dreams for you are so much bigger, so much brighter. And so we want to get into that place of the impossibility. We want to get into that place that is limitless. Now, you're not going to start at that place, right? So if you say, I want to be traveling around the world, coaching, I want to be styling celebrities, I want to be, working with young children, whatever it is, if there was no limitations, that is a marker of where you're going. It's a goal. Right? A lot of us dreamt or decided based on what we thought we could do or what people said you could do. And you're there, but you're not feeling alive. You're not thriving, and you're definitely not creating the income that you need to shift your life. The other question I have is why I call it, what about your mama and them? A lot of times people run away from the genetic predispositions or even things that are learned within a family that can actually help you create wealth. So for example, if you come from a family of cookers, chefs or cooks, and they can cook really well, and you cook really well, and you're really good at it, and you love it, and people ask you for your food, why is that not a business, right? If you come from a family where people were very athletic and you went as far as maybe college football, but you didn't make it to the NFL, why don't you have camps? Why are you not training younger kids, right? You're passionate about it. You're good at it. So you want to look at your family history. Some people will say, well, what if I didn't have family? What if I was adopted? Look at your natural family. And then the other thing I have people look at are generational curses, because generational curses are indications of generational blessings. So if you struggled with poverty, maybe you're called to create wealth. If there were bad marriages, maybe you're called to help train and counsel marriages. If you came from a place where there was drug addiction, maybe you're called to counsel and help others get through it, right? The very thing that the enemy thought was a curse, the Lord wants to turn around and use a blessing. And then the last question you want to ask yourself is, what have you been named? Now, once again, I'm just giving you guys this content. Usually this would be a class that I either sell or as part of a webinar, but I want to give it to you. If you're new, I don't take any questions until the end of my presentation. All right. So I'll take questions at the end. So what have you been named, right? Some of us have been fortunate to be in prophetic circles, and people will say stuff to you like, you're highly administrative, or you're an amazing worship leader, or God is going to use you to do this, or God is going to use you to do that. And even if you've never had a prophecy, you want to start thinking about, what do people come to me for? What do people say I'm good at? Once again, we're talking about taking passion and turning it into income today, okay? What is it that I've been named? What is it that I'm good at? If this is helping you, make sure that you're sharing it with your friends, all right? All of those speak into it. Now, let's break down the 5 questions, and then I'm going to give you guys some practical steps today on how do you go from just being good at something or loving something to actually having income from it, all right? So what makes you feel alive is your mode. Mode meaning your way of transmitting or sharing to the world whatever it is that you've been called to do. So if what makes me feel alive is photography, okay, that's an aspect of how I'm going to communicate what I'm called to do. For me, it's coaching, it's solving problems, it's helping people come into their identity and come into their purpose, right? That's what makes me feel alive. Talking makes me feel alive, right? All those things, right? But if you are are like, no, working spreadsheets makes me feel alive. If, just working with teens one-on-one makes me feel alive. You got to figure that out. And this is so important. We have our membership called Destiny Training Academy. And the first thing that they do is 3 months of inner healing and deliverance work. And the reason for that is that I found a lot of people in business and a lot of people in ministry who stepped out and started something because it made them feel alive, but they really didn't know who they were. They didn't really know who gives them value, where they get belonging. And so they enter into something hoping for accolades, hoping for people to cheer them on. But what makes you feel alive has to be because you love it, not because anybody else is giving you, a clap or, round of applause about it. So you want to make sure that you are clear about what makes you feel alive. People have a hard time answering this question when they don't know who they are, when they struggle with the orphan spirit, when they struggle with rejection, when they haven't been around people that maybe affirm them. So you may need to do that work first. But that is going to be your mode. It might be coaching. It might be speaking. It might be picture taking. It might be creating places of hospitality where people just find space. It might be, I'm trying to think of all the different business people we've coached. It might be real estate where when you're showing homes and you help a family find a home that they love or a commercial property, you feel alive. You got to figure it out because that is your mode. Now, your mission is what breaks your heart. Oftentimes you will find that your what breaks your heart should be connected to what makes you feel alive. So there's a disconnect when you're like, what makes me feel alive is real estate, but what you're really passionate about is deliverance, right? Or you hate it when people are broken. Well, real estate might just be a good career, but it may not necessarily be your calling, right? And you could still make a great living from your career, right? But then you're also going to have to figure out, what is it that I'm supposed to be doing with this thing, deliverance thing, with this inner healing thing? And I've shared with you guys, because in the last several weeks, I've been doing these lives on purpose and passion and breaking poverty. You can have your calling and your career running succinctly. They could be two opposite things, but you're doing them at the same time. I'm fortunate that my calling and my career merge, and that what breaks my heart is ignorance. When people who don't know who they are, when they don't know what they carry, when they're stuck in poverty, when they're stuck in the lack of knowledge, that's what breaks my heart. So then my mode, what do I do about it? I coach people, not on an individual basis, right? We have a mentorship group. I create courses. I travel. I speak. I write books. That is my mode in how I fix what the problem is. Okay. So now my passion has integrated with my mission. And really that's where you want to be. Because the next level is just going to be creating income out of it, because you're living out of what you were made to live out of. And you're also fulfilling a mission, because we were all made to solve a problem. Like if we're not solving a problem, it might not be in your career, but it should be in your calling. We are made to be solutionists, right? So then you want to look at the next one, which is your limitations. When you look at your limitations, I'm fortunate, right, that I'm almost at where, what I wanted to do, travel around the world, preaching, teaching. There's other things, right, which is we want to raise up schools. We want to help governments learn how to govern their nations, especially in Africa. We want to help create different programs, right, that break poverty, that create resources. So that is a future goal. But what I'm doing now is to get me to that point, right? One of the limitless things that I wanted to do was travel and speak. And so I'm already there. But this is the cool thing about God and the dreams he has for your life. They don't end just because you've gotten to one place. God is always calling us to dream bigger and to go further. And that's why I tell people, you shouldn't put a limitation on how much income you can make. You shouldn't put a limitation on what God can do through your life, because the more money you make, the more people you help. And if you don't think like that, then obviously it's going to be really hard for you to make more money. But if you understand that there are God dreams for your life and for other people that are bigger than where you're at right now, then you're going to work harder. You're going to fight harder to get there. Then you look at where your family was wired to do. Your answer to what you should be doing may lie in your family. And then you look at your prophetic words. All right. So the next thing that you want to do, and I'll probably have to do this in a part 2. because it, like I said, this is a course that I normally teach, but I'm just doing it for you guys. So the what you want to figure out is your message. Like, what do you have to say? Now, not everybody is saying something, right? Not everybody's a speaker. Not everybody's a teacher. Not everybody is using their voice. But if you're an artist, you're saying something with your clothes, with your food, with your photography, with your branding. Like, what are you trying to say? If you are someone who's a teacher, you may not necessarily be saying something vocally, but you're trying to say that children need to learn how to read. So I'm going to create a program or write books, simple books to help children learn how to read. What is your message of your company? What is the message of what you carry? That's what you're going to have to figure out, right? What is the thing that you are going to use to get this message to them, right? I'm going to use, and I love, anybody who signs up for our wealth transfer class, know that in that class, we're going to be teaching you how to leverage technology to build finances. I believe that we are an entrepreneurial generation because of the internet. The internet has made multiple millionaires. Like, some businesses require brick and mortar, but I believe that every business should have an online presence. Every business should know how to systematically use the not just social media. There's many ways to connect to your audience to be able to build. All right. And then you got to figure out your people, right? So my message, okay, my mode, but who are my people? Who are the people that need this answer? Some people call this the pain point. So when you start thinking about yourself, so some of you guys just have a story and your story has turned into a passion. Maybe you overcame domestic violence, and you know, one of our daughters at Legacy, she overcame cancer and she created a coloring book. And this coloring book has like blown up. She just shared a testimony that an atheist was like, had only a couple of days to live, and they went through her coloring book and decided to give their life to God. This is an adult coloring book. Can you imagine that her pain turned into a message? She created a mode to articulate that message, and that message is now going to the masses. The problem is that poverty and the orphan mindset rejects our ability, and not rejects, impacts our ability to be creative. So a lot of us are not thinking outside of the box beyond what is in front of us, or what our parents said, or what they said in school. But I want to invite you, and I'm going to pray for you guys. Even right now, just lift up your hands, that the Lord would begin to be released upon you, that there would be creativity that would begin to flow out of you, that you'd begin to think out of the box. I break off poverty thinking. I break off the reduction and the inability to think beyond what is in front of us. I release creativity, because the wealth is in the creativity. The wealth is in thinking out of the box and not being afraid to do what nobody else has done before. All right. So you want to think about your masses. Her masses was people who've gone through what I've gone through. And I know, and she's artistic. She helps with our set design at our church, but this is how she has started to do it. So we just opened that creativity with you. All right. So we all have something in us that the Lord has put. And when we talk about passion, passion can come a number of ways. And then I'll take some of your questions. Passion can come from your experience, what you've been through, right? Passion can come from education, what you have learned. Passion can come from natural talents or abilities, right? What you're naturally good at, or what you were trained in as a child, right? But the key is, does this make me feel alive? And would this benefit other people? And if the answer is yes, then you can put that into a product. You can put it into a course. You can put it into a coloring book. You can put it into a live event. You can put it into a coaching program. There is so much that you could do. And I want to help you guys do that in our Wealth Transfer Academy. So with that, I'm going to do a part 2, because obviously I didn't get through my teaching here, but I want to take some questions from you guys so far on this. Someone said, I felt this prayer. Good. Awesome. So I talked about the Wealth Transfer Academy a little bit. If you have a question, just put #Q around creating income from your passion or breaking poverty. For those that just jumped on, we just gave away our free ebook on how to break poverty, 25 reasons why it's hard to break the yoke of poverty. We gave it to those that are on our email list, but the link is also in the description. We're going to share it on our Instagram so that you could get that, so you could begin to change your life. And in January, we have an 8-week course that helps people that want to launch a business so that they can break poverty and create wealth, or even just scale their business. We're going to help you find your mode. We're going to help you find your message. We're going to help you find your market, and we're going to teach you how to market it and how to build a legacy that outlives you. All right. Someone said, I'm reading the ebook already. It's already blessing me. That's amazing. I think it was this afternoon. My team is so amazing. I didn't even realize y'all already had gotten it. So, let's see, getting ideas as we speak. Good. And sometimes it's just being around people that are creative, or people that are have gone where you want to go. And sometimes the anointing, and this is the powerful thing about the anointing, it's just about being in the right environment, because wrong environments will keep you capped. Right? We got to slow some of our business folks down, because my husband and I are so apostolic and entrepreneurial. Everybody wants to start a business. And it's like, okay, we got to discern the season and the time and all of that. But it helps when you are in the right environment. All right. Let's see what some of your questions are. I want to build a mentoring program for young women. I mentor now, but like to help more. So we actually have a whole course on how to launch a coaching and mentoring program that opens up in February. But the Wealth Transfer Academy would help you, because it's going to help you on how to construct it, how to incorporate it, how to create. So creating, one of the things that I go over in Wealth Transfer Academy is like how to write a book, how to create a program, how to create a course. So a mentoring program should have outlines. It should have objectives. It should have steps. That is called your system. The same thing that you would find in a book, which is called your outline. You're going to see that in any coaching program. You're going to see that in any mentoring program. You should also see it even in your business, in terms of how do people find you, what happens next, and where do they go from there. So we will teach you all of that as well in the Wealth Transfer course. All right. Yes, I love the ebook. Good. That is our free Christmas gift from you. I came on late. My question is, how do you know if God is calling you to start a business? Well, you don't necessarily need God to come down and tell you to start a business. You can look at a number of things. One, there's an area in which I'm really good at. Two, I'm tired of working for other people. Three, I feel like I have been, people have been asking for this particular thing that I carry. Those are all clues that it might be time to step out for you to start a business. And I always say, if you have tried to knock on doors and no doors have opened, then create your own door. And we're in a season where you need to have multiple doors. You should not just rely on one income stream. All of us should be able to look around and say, what is another income stream? And one of the things that we teach in Wealth Transfer Academy is passive income. So there are things that you can create, put it online somewhere, and then you never have to do anything with it ever again. So some of you guys took advantage of our 50% off sale in November. Those are products that I created one time. We have uploaded them on Ask Dr. Faith, and on a daily basis, money comes into our account because people are finding them and they're buying them. So there's all kinds of business models that you could utilize depending on what your business is. And those are some of the things we'll work on in the class. Are there certain websites I can use to start a course on? Yes, I'll give you a couple today. And then in the course, we give you like 12, and we teach about some of the benefits, pros and cons of all of those. But if you want to start a course, you can start a course on your own website by just creating a private membership page where people use a code to get in there. You can use things like Thinkific. You can use Carta. You can use Teachable. I use Kajabi. So if you're going to use Kajabi, hit me up for my partnership link. They do give me some money for that. So I'll say that. But so there's all kinds. And all you also have to do is Google. When I first started, I just researched and I read. And I think a lot of times we're not able to progress forward because we don't do the work of just searching and finding it. Or you could just take a course with me and I've already done the work for you, right? So in 8 weeks, you're getting 8 years of knowledge of building a 7-figure business. And I'll be giving that to you in the course. All right. My passion is numbers. I love math, but I also have a ministry call in my life. How do I have to intersect the two? You may not be able to, or you you could start a ministry in which you do an after school program to help young kids to grow in the love of math, right? So one of the things we want to do at our church, which is not really going to be business, but it's part of our passion, is start some STEM programs, right? Some math and science programs. So you can make it your ministry, because as they're learning, you're also talking about the Lord and you have Christian values. Or your calling and your career can be concurrent. So you could be a math professor, right, by day, but then you also have a passion to do ministry, to preach the gospel. And at some point, right, one may take off and the other may not, but you could always do both at the same time. All right. I want to write a book. Yes, I'm going to help you guys in wealth transfer, because one of the reasons I started that course was I see everybody writing books and they sell like 10. And then they have paid someone $5,000 to publish it. I'm like, what are you thinking? Right? So we're going to talk about some ways to not only, we're going to talk about some ways to self-publish, but also what to look for when you're signing a contract with a publisher, because people have got. But the main thing I'm going to focus on is, how do you find your people? How do you build an audience? So once you've written your book, people will actually buy it. Because writing books are hard, and my books are not even that long, and it takes forever to push those babies out. So if you're going to work that long to write a book, I hope people buy it, because that is your oil. That is your value. Remember, we started talking about oil. What do you carry? That is your virtue. That's why when people are like, why isn't it free? Right? Because I have spent my oil. I have spent my virtue writing this or developing this or learning this. Right? All right. So understood, but the business that I want to start requires money that I don't have. Well, then that tells you that it's not the right time to start a business. So I've told people, you look for 4 things. Do I have the money? Do I have the time? Do I have the education? And do I have the experience? If you don't have 3 of those 4, it is not the right time. But usually there are things that you can start that will help you create money so you could do what you want to do. I mean, I have big dreams. We're going to have TV production companies. We're going to have a book publishing company, right? But it's not that season for all of that, right? That doesn't mean that's not a God dream. It means that I need to do what I need to do in this season, right? To get money and things in place, relationships, because it's not all about money. Some of it is about experience. Some of it is about relationships. Some of it is just about, the right timing. So you need to figure out, what am I supposed to be doing now so that I could do the big dream or vision that I have? All right. My passion is foster children and always wanted to do something big for them, but still receive income. Well, you can start a nonprofit, right? You can get grants. Now with grants, you would then write your salary into your grants. That's how you get paid. That's not necessarily going to make you a lot of money, but you're going to have enough to live on and help the children. Now, where you're going to learn how to make money is once you have run a foster program really well or a nonprofit program really well, and people have seen the effectiveness, then you could teach other people how to do what you have done. That's where the money is. When you can teach others to do what you do, that's called an expertise. And people are looking for that. So you got to start somewhere though, right? So do we start this as a nonprofit? Do we apply for grants? Do I get a salary from that grant? And then once that I've grown, then I can start a business teaching other people to do what I've done. All right. My passion. Okay, we read that. OMG, yes, I've been writing books for years. Then God gave me a timeline. All right, good. Building an author platform is something I need help with. That we're going to help you in the course. All right. I work in financing, but I have a heart for deliverance, and I want to bust some demons out of people and do it for free. Well, that should be great. So then if I work in financing and I'm really good, right, I'm going to build a business out of financing so that when I do ministry, so that when I meet with people, I don't need any money, right? I've shared with you guys, and it's not a big deal, but we decided when we started the church, we're not going to get a salary from the church, right? That's why I work a business, so I can do ministry without any hinges, any worries, right? Without putting pressure on our young church to make sure that we are living, right? So if you're great at finances, start a business in finance, then you can freely do ministry. You can travel and give away what you have ministry-wise for free. All right. Everywhere I go, people like to confide in me about their issues. At times, I don't even know how to help them. But you could be a life coach, or you could go into counseling, which would require you to go to school to get licensed and all of that. But you could also be called into pastoral care, as well as marketing program. Will transfer class help in these areas? Okay, which areas? I missed the top of your question. I'm trying to build a good coaching program. Need to know how to really get myself out there. Okay, so the 8-week course is going to start with identifying your people, building your audience, understanding the platforms that you need to get out your product or your message. It's going to go into how to manage your finances in your business. It's going to go into how to market. So it's going to cover the whole gambit from A to Z if you want to start a build any kind of business or launch any kind of product, from creating it to marketing it, to positioning yourself to actually not only just sell one product, but actually build a whole business. When is the course? It starts January 21st. All right, wrote a children's book. How do I go about marketing it? Well, you should have marketed before you started writing the children's book. And one of the ways that you do that is that you build an audience of people who need children's books, right? So you don't just write a book and then you want to start selling it. One of the reasons I write books is because there's a demand for that book. So maybe you wrote the children's book because you're a children's pastor or you are a teacher. So then you need to find who needs this book. And then you need to build an audience around that. And we'll teach all of that to you guys in Wealth Transfer Academy. And then you can sell them the book. So a lot of times we write a book and then we look for the people. But the truth is you're supposed to identify your people and then market it to your people and go from there. You can use social media. You want to build an email list. You can go to different places, schools or churches, depending on what the book is about. There's a lot of ways that you can market whatever you create. And we'll go deep into that in the course. Let's see. Any other questions? Okay. I'm a singer, musician with singles, but I'm finding it difficult not performing live, selling product. I have a product on different streaming sites. How do I sell just as strong on streaming sites? Well, I would first start by giving it away, right? So I want to make sure that if I'm a singer, that every single week that I am doing like, a 10-minute set with Natalie, right? People can find me. And then in the description, I say to purchase my single, click here. Right? Because one of the things is if people don't know you exist, they're definitely not going to buy from you. If people don't trust you, they're not going to buy from you. Like trust you as in like they love what you release. If they don't love it, if they don't know it, they're not going to love it. So on a weekly basis, you got to put yourself on a consistent basis to put yourself out there so that people actually see what you're carrying. Little clips on TikTok, little clips on Instagram, little 10-minute, sessions on YouTube and on Facebook on a weekly basis. That is one of the fastest way. You got to build an audience around you. You got to build your tribe around you. And then when they love it and it's good, then they're going to tell other people around you. That is one of the biggest mistakes that I see all around, that people don't understand the importance of actually having people that are interested in what they carry. And it's not, when I started, I didn't know anybody. Nobody, gave me a big platform. I just started hosting events. I would go to different cities and I would host them, and maybe 10 people would come, maybe 30 people would come, maybe 50 people would come. It started by partnerships, and I kept going and going and going. And over time, people trusted that. Same thing with Periscope, which, by the way, Periscopers is going to be ending in March. When I started, maybe there was 50 people following me from Facebook, but the more I shared on a consistent basis, they shared with their friends. All right. There's partnerships you could do with other singers or other coaches. I will teach all that. Chantel, Leonard, I see the last part says, take the class. You will not regret it. Awesome. All right. I know I have numerous gifts and big dreams, but I don't know where to start. I have so many things. Like I said, do you have the education? Do you have the time? Do you have the experience? And do you have the money? If the answer is no to 3 of those, then you shouldn't start with that particular thing. Look for the thing that you can start with. All right. Mine is sexually violated women. I want to also build a house for young mothers to live and learn life skills. So what you would have to learn is how to start a nonprofit, how to market the nonprofit, how to connect with the women that have been sexually violated, and then also learning the industry, the protection measures and all of that. And so those are things that you can learn. Let's see. I'll take like 3 more questions. What are the prerequisites for leaving your 9-to-5? Great question. So I give 2 sets of prerequisites. I would say have at least 3 to 6 months of savings in your account. So if I make $5,000 a month, I would not leave my job until I have 15 in my savings, right? That hopefully you also have a checkings or whatever, right? So, or at least I would have 30,000, right? That's the practical way to do it. But But then there are also some people who God has been calling to step out and start something for forever, and they keep fighting out that end up losing their job or just end up getting thrusted out there. Those are the ones that I call sink or swim. And so at that point, the way that I would work with you is to say, what are your bills? How much do you need per month to survive? And then we would create products around what you need to survive monthly, right? And get you swimming as fast as you can. So those are my prerequisites around that. Someone asked how much the class is. I don't discuss my prices on webinars because I want you guys to go to the website. I want you to go read about everything that the class entails. This is a high premium class because you're going to make money if you follow what you learn, and it's going to be something that benefits you. So go there. It's an investment, and it's going to be a blessing to you. There's a payment plan that's going to be available until January 30th. No, December 30th. It's ending in 2 weeks. The payment plan is ending in 2 weeks. So you want to make sure that you utilize that ASAP. Do you have testimonies about your transfer class? I do. We haven't posted them on the website. We have one right now that's sharing on our Instagram how you should take it, how beneficial it was. We'll see if I get my team to create some graphics and share them and put some. But yes, so we've only offered that class one time. Before that, that class was called the e-course coach. And as I was helping individuals who wanted to launch e-courses, I realized that there's also a lot of other people who want to launch products that are outside of an e-course. So I turned my e-course coach course into the Wealth Transfer Academy. So last year was the first year. We put 58 students through the course last year, and we've had tremendous feedback. So we'll try and get some on the website as well as share them on our social media. All right. Okay. Thank you. I'm currently getting an education. I'm at Harvard. Awesome. Finish up that what you're doing there. I'm 43 and still trying to find my purpose. Where do I start? Okay, start with the video that I did today. Those 5 questions that I asked you at the beginning, that should give you your purpose. Okay. Yes. Do you have an affiliated program for your resources? I checked out your website and there are a few items I can use. So the only affiliated program we have is for our membership sites, which is Destiny Training Academy and our Dreamers and Seers Club. And you've got to be a student in order to be an affiliate. So we don't just bring in affiliates. We need people who have been in our products, who trust them, who love them, so that when they're sharing about it, we go that way. So that is the only affiliate programs that we have. Let's see. I have sold my food, teach, consult youth, mentor. Okay. I fed the hunger. Okay. I want to do or can do. I never wanted to do what everyone else is doing. I have education experience and some money. I want to open group homes. I need to sink or swim. Yeah. So what I would do first is, what does it take in your state to open a group home? What are the resources that you're going to need, right? And then how do you connect to your clientele? Group homes are great and they're a great income stream, right? But you're also going to need a good staff as soon as you get started. So it is possible for you to do that. And for the Wealth Transfer Academy, you have the opportunity to sign up for the VIP option, which will allow me to actually look at your individual business and break it down. So if you're interested in that, specifically for your business, you can sign up for that part. What happens if you don't know what you want to do? All right, I already gave you guys questions today to help you answer that. I'm struggling to break free from the spirit of fear, but I desperately want to start a business. Sometimes you won't stop being afraid until you just do it, right? But a lot of times we're also afraid because we don't have the right information. We don't have the answers. So if you can get the right answers and get training and steps on how to do it, you may not be as afraid. All right. I love you, Dr. Faith. The anointing flows down to us when we stay connected to you. Thank you. But you're still asking for testimonials. Believe me, my course is going to change your life. But yes, we'll get you those testimonials. I have no problem with sharing those as well for you. But thank you so much for that. I want to start a lifestyle brand. How can I start? Okay, so what does that mean, right? What are you communicating? Is it I'm just showing you my pretty bags or my clothes? What is the mission of this lifestyle brand? Who are your people? Who do you want to connect to, right? Those are questions that you would want to start at the beginning because it's going to impact your branding. It's going to impact your consistency. And then the lifestyle brand, what are you selling? Are you selling your life? Are you selling a product out of it? Because you could be Instagram famous and be broke, right? So there's a lot of people with a bunch of followers that have no money because they don't know how to take the people that love them and exchange something of value for them so that they could really actually be impactful. I write movie and TV scripts and don't have any objections in the industry. Okay. I'm not sure if that's a question or a statement. Can you tell us who did your logo? I love yours. Yes, when you go through my courses, I give you all my resources. Her name is Rachel, so I give you a link to, that's Patty. Patty did the logo. I'll give you a link to her website. Rachel does all my designs, and so I can give you that information. Even if you're in my mentoring group, if you ask me that, I can type it, because if I give you her name, you may not, be able to find them. But if you're in the mentoring group, you can ask. Do you have a video on governance consulting? I'm not sure if I have a video that I share publicly, but if you want to consult with governments or city contract levels, there's actually someone I can connect you with, and then we share a little bit on how you get into that type of consulting in our Wealth Transfer Academy. All right, Dr. Faith, our products are ready, but I don't know how to market. That's what my class teaches you, how to find your people and how to reach them and how to market. We'll also have guest speakers that will come in for that as well. Another question, can you have more than one business at a time? I would say build one and then succeed and then add. So what we've done with our businesses is just add other products over the years. So one thing that I do is individual consulting for leaders and business owners, which is not advertised because they're going to be paying for me, for my time and my wisdom per hour. But that's another product that we just added there. So you can add products or branch out, but make sure you've succeeded at one before you do that. I have two, let's see. Where's the video you did earlier? It's right here, what I'm talking right now. Just when we finish, just rewind. All right. If we have a logo ourselves, do you have a connect that will help bring it to life? After you take any of my classes, I give you a list of people that you can go to. All right. What if you don't have a passion? I just learned what I need to survive. Like I said, rewind this video and watch it, and you will see all about that. Everything I want to do requires schooling, and I don't know where to start. Learn to coach, make clothes, or get a degree in psychology. If it requires schooling, I would go to school, right? Get that out of the way. And then sometimes when we go to school, we realize that it might not even be exactly what we want to do, and you can deviate from there. I'm currently an artist, interviewer, bio writer. I'm also a teacher, dancer, and I constantly find that those I speak to say I'm calming and I leave them inspired. I'm not sure how to marry these things. You could be a dance coach. You could be, you could work with artists and creatives you could work specifically with writers, right? So you got to niche down, right? You got to figure out which one do I have most people coming to me for? And then you can branch out in that one. So you niche down and then you can build up over time if you'd like. Please provide your link. I would like to sow a seed. I love your ministry. Thank you so much. You can send any seed to Square Cash, and it's Faith Wolkomam. If you want to give via PayPal, it's what is it? It's giving at Warring Ministries. int.org. Thank you guys so much. All right, we'll do a part 2. Hopefully this was helpful to get you guys going. Get in the class. Early payment plan is ending in 2 weeks. So if you know you need to take this, but it's an investment, you want to, pay it little by little, make sure that you get in it, and we will get you squared away and get you going. We'll get some of the testimonials on the website today for those that would like to read some of people who've been in our course. All right. Bless you guys. Look forward to talking to you soon. Bye-bye.